A snip indeed. Give me two.
Alpesh Patel, CEO of private equity house Prifinium Partners. Good morning to you.
The good news is my wife's asleep at about this time,
so she doesn't
know about that yet.
She said, why don't I have a tunnel?
Keep it to ourselves, shall we?
So you do all your shopping at Harrods anyway, don't you?
Lidl and Poundland.
Good man.
Let's start with the Olympics, of course. The big story today. The first angle, the Russian team. I mean, they're painting it as a great victory. They say they're going to be the cleanest team in Rio, but I mean, it's still a third of the team isn't.
I should make clear, I'm not laughing because I'm disparaging the athletes who are through.
Yeah.
They're going to be the cleanest because they're going to be the most watched. I'm going to try and spin this into a positive story because actually I'm sure the rest of the world is incredibly frustrated that you could have state-sponsored doping to try and ruin the reputation of what is supposed to be a very uplifting event, or actually just this whole notion of human endeavour and athletics and being clean and all the rest of it. The good news for the rest of the world is this. Russia's spy agency isn't as good as they think they are, because even a bunch of athletes could monitor them and work out that they're drilling holes into these sort of drug doping areas and then sort of changing urine samples and stuff. So they're not as good as they thought they were. Maybe I'm brave saying that, given that they've got a reputation around poisoning people around the world and all the rest of it. But they do tend to get caught quite a bit, don't they?
Bye, Alpesh.
Don't.
Hey, can I just say one thing? Did you see this list of the sports that have been included in the ban? So you've got your sports that you would imagine where drugs, I guess, would benefit, if you will. The athletics, the weightlifting, the sailing. I mean, I sail, but it's not as, you know...
I don't think they sail the way you sail at the Olympics. I think it's quite an endurance sport.
Sailing,
we're not... Look, when chess gets into the Olympics, then we'll question why there's doping.
OK. What are we...
We're going to talk about the sort of, the negative perceptions, mostly amongst Brazilians, who, I mean, it's pretty astonishing that at the Sunday afternoon slot on TV, they're going to be showing on Brazilian TV soccer, football, instead of the Olympics.
Instead of the Olympics.
I mean, I was quite surprised by that.
Well, the flip side to this, that the story is also carrying in the International New York Times, is the whole disillusionment and the anger that they've got generally around it. And maybe that's what showing football is. It's just a protest at the whole side of the Olympics. You know, there's people protesting about corruption, poverty, all the social issues. Having said that, I'd say to those people who are protesting, we knew this before the Olympics got to your country. The rest of the world knows the problems Brazil faces. What the Olympics are supposed to bring is not just simply hope and all the rest of it, because you can say to the people in the favelas, well, great, thanks. You know, thanks for, you're not really giving us hope by just hosting the Olympics. What it's supposed to bring is inward investment, money and business. And the Olympic movement doesn't like to talk too much about that, but actually that's supposed to be one of the benefits. Just ask London and the audit that's done thereafter of how much inward investment came in. Not as much as we would ever have liked, obviously, not all as spectacular as we would like, but certainly a net positive. Should be the same for Brazil, because remember, this is one of the BRIC economies, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and then South Africa, if you want to add that as well. Fast-growing ones. And I know the British government have sent a delegation from their UK Trade and Investment Department of businesses, of civil servants, to bring in exports into the UK and inward investment into that country. And every other country in the world will be doing the same. So there should hopefully be some reason to rejoice. And it's not all about the economically excluded thinking nobody's listening. We're listening. We know there's problems, and we're all watching as well about those problems.
Alpesh, there's so much political uncertainty there as well in Brazil that a lot of foreign investors are sort of just staying back and waiting.
Well, you're going to see from one of the other stories coming up that political uncertainty doesn't necessarily mean lack of investment.
No, that's true. Very good. Very good. Very good.
Why don't we haven't got that much. Should we skip the interest rate? Because we've been talking about that.
Well, let's talk Africa. Zuma, the ANC, really took a hit in this election.
Yeah, again, the reason why the ANC, and remember, this is the party of Nelson Mandela. Again, we talk about hope. On the one side, you've got the Olympics, you've got Nelson Mandela, you've got ANC, all stories of hope. And then you've got the people who are saying, wait a minute, we're still economically excluded. What happened to our hope? You know, Obama's term's coming to an end. What happened to us who were economically excluded? It's the same story the world over, and now the ANC is suffering as a result. of it. And you know, one of the stories that we're missing with the UK and the interest rate cuts, again, it's the economically excluded who voted for the UK to leave Europe who are saying, what about us? And all this money, which is being pushed out by the Bank of England, is supposed to help those people. Let's just hope it gets to them eventually. At the moment, we still haven't worked out a mechanism where no matter how much money we throw, it's just the rich getting richer is the feeling.
Alpesh, can you do it in 20 seconds? Why are people investing in Turkey at the moment with what's going on?
Because after the coup, prices hit rock bottom, and guess what business people do? They look for opportunities to pick up things at bargain basements. And that inward investment is great news for them, just as Brexit has turned out possibly to be slightly good news for Britain. It's the same story. Prices collapse, therefore you want to pick up things at bargain basement. Turkey's got great infrastructure. Let's not write them off. The same way with Brazil, you know, despite what the economically excluded say, let's not write them off and look at the good news side of these negative stories as well, and hope that the economically excluded get included.
Always a risk.
A tunnel. We've got about 30 seconds to talk about this tunnel from a retirement home into Harrods.
So clearly, you know, property in London still...
Yeah.
Well, no, I tell you what it tells you. I tell you what, let's expand this globally. The Russians want to be here, the Saudis want to be here, or everybody from the Middle East who's got any money want to be in the UK. Anybody who's got any money want to be in the UK, and the pound getting at a lower and lower rate means inward investment is coming in, and it's making it easier for exporters. It's actually a great story for Britain.
Good on you, Alpesh. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right on time.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Have a good day.
I'm going to go and get myself one of them tunnels.